Title for Horror Stories of Taxi Drivers in Mexico, Volume 8, My Horror Stories. Once upon a time, in a land far away, there were horrifying stories of taxi drivers in Mexico. These stories, filled with suspense and terror, serve as a cautionary tale for all. In this article, we will delve into the chilling accounts of these taxi drivers, each one more bone-chilling than the last. Brace yourself for a journey into the unknown as we explore the dark side of the taxi industry in Mexico. Story 1, The Mysterious Passenger. In the first story, a young taxi driver named Rene finds himself in a terrifying situation. It was a sunny afternoon, and Rene was working to earn money for his studies. Little did he know that his life was about to take a horrifying turn. A passenger, a seemingly innocent teacher, entered his taxi and engaged in casual conversation. However, as the journey progressed, the passenger's behavior became increasingly strange and flirtatious. Rene's discomfort grew, but he couldn't tear his eyes away from the passenger's seductive gestures. Suddenly, the passenger disappeared, leaving Rene bewildered and questioning his own sanity. As he continued driving, Rene experienced a numbing sensation and lost control of his body. He crashed into an invisible force, causing chaos and destruction. When he regained consciousness, he found himself accused of causing the deaths of 15 people, including children. Despite his pleas of innocence, Rene was sentenced to prison, forever haunted by the memory of that fateful ride. Story 2, The Enigmatic Fare. In the second story, a taxi driver named Mateo discovers the dark side of accepting a mysterious fare. Mateo had been using a popular ride-sharing app to supplement his income, and everything seemed to be going well. However, rumors began to circulate among his fellow drivers about a late-night passenger who would mysteriously disappear. Curiosity got the better of Mateo, and he decided to accept the fare. Little did he know that he was about to embark on a journey that would test his sanity. The passenger, a beautiful woman, seemed harmless at first. But as the ride progressed, Mateo realized that something was terribly wrong. The woman confessed to being responsible for the deaths of other drivers who had accepted her fare. In a state of panic, Mateo sent a message to his friend, alerting the police to the situation. When the police arrived, they found no trace of the woman, leaving Mateo to question his own sanity. Despite his innocence, Mateo was haunted by the memory of that night and the unanswered questions that lingered. Story 3, The Unseen Terror. In the third story, a taxi driver named Osvaldo finds himself caught in a web of terror. Osvaldo had chosen the taxi profession as a means to support himself and escape his troubled past. One fateful day, he found himself in the midst of a crowd, unable to move his vehicle. The reason for the commotion soon became clear. A man had brutally murdered 8 people in a nearby building. As the crowd dispersed, Osvaldo received a request for a ride to the airport. Desperate for a fare, he accepted, unaware of the horror that awaited him. The passenger seemed normal at first, but as the ride progressed, Osvaldo noticed a change in his demeanor. The passenger confessed to being the perpetrator of the recent murders, and Osvaldo found himself in a state of panic. He managed to send a message to his friend, alerting the police to the situation. When the police arrived, they discovered the passenger's confession to be true. However, they found no evidence of Osvaldo's involvement, leaving him to face the unjust consequences of being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Story 4, The Unexplained Disappearance. In the final story, a taxi driver named Carlos experiences a chilling encounter that defies explanation. Carlos had been driving for years, encountering all sorts of passengers, but nothing could have prepared him for what was about to happen. One night, he received a request for a ride from a remote location. As he approached the pickup point, he noticed a sense of unease. The passenger, a woman, seemed normal at first, but as the ride progressed, Carlos sensed something was amiss. The woman revealed that she had been responsible for the disappearance of other taxi drivers, and Carlos realized he was in grave danger. In a moment of desperation, he managed to escape the car and alert the authorities. When the police arrived, they found no trace of the woman, leaving Carlos to question his own sanity. Despite his traumatic experience, Carlos was left with unanswered questions and a lingering fear of the unknown. Conclusion: once the 4 stories of horror experienced by taxi drivers in Mexico conclude, it is evident that there is an underlying theme of supernatural occurrences and unexplained phenomena. These tales serve as a stark reminder that there may be forces at play beyond our understanding, lurking in the shadows of the taxi industry. As the stories unfold, it becomes apparent that each driver's encounter with the unknown leaves them scarred and forever changed. These spine-chilling accounts also shed light on the vulnerability of taxi drivers who unknowingly become entangled in the supernatural. It is crucial for drivers to remain vigilant and cautious, not only of everyday dangers, but also of the inexplicable entities that inhabit the world. These stories serve as a cautionary reminder to all those who work in the taxi industry in Mexico to be aware of the potential horrors that may lurk in the dark corners of their profession. While these tales may seem fantastical, they are based on real experiences recounted by the drivers themselves. The fact that these stories are part of a larger series suggests that there is an ongoing pattern of inexplicable events occurring within the taxi industry. As such, it is essential for both drivers and passengers alike to be aware of the potential dangers that may lurk within every ride. In addition to the supernatural occurrences and unexplained phenomena, another common theme that emerges from the 4 horror stories of taxi drivers in Mexico is the psychological toll these experiences take on the drivers. Each driver is deeply affected by their encounters with the unknown, leading to lasting trauma and a distorted perception of reality. For example, Rene, the young taxi driver from the first story, not only faces the unjust consequences of being accused of causing multiple deaths, but he also becomes tormented by the memory of the mysterious passenger. The trauma of the incident haunts him for the rest of his life, causing him to question his own sanity and leaving him forever scarred. Similarly, Mateo, from the second story, is left with unanswered questions and a lingering fear of the unknown. The encounter with the enigmatic fare shakes his belief in his own sanity, as he witnesses the woman's confession and subsequent disappearance. This psychological torment leaves Mateo in a state of perpetual paranoia, constantly questioning the true nature of the passengers he encounters. Osvaldo, the taxi driver from the third story, also experiences a profound psychological impact from his encounter with the unseen terror. Despite being innocent, he constantly relives the fear and panic he felt when confronted with the passenger's gruesome confession. The traumatic experience leaves him plagued by nightmares and an overpowering sense of vulnerability. Lastly, Carlos, from the final story, is left with a lingering fear of the unknown after his chilling encounter with the unexplained disappearance. The psychological toll of the experience leads him to question his own sanity and becomes hypervigilant about potential dangers lurking in his profession. While the supernatural occurrences and psychological tolls experienced by the taxi drivers in Mexico are undoubtedly terrifying, it is important to consider the implications these stories have on the broader taxi industry. These accounts not only highlight the potential dangers faced by drivers, but also raise questions about the regulation and safety measures within the industry. The first point to consider is the need for stricter background checks and vetting processes for both drivers and passengers. These horror stories reveal that anyone can be capable of causing harm or becoming entangled in the supernatural. Implementing thorough screening procedures can help ensure the safety of both drivers and passengers, reducing the risk of encountering dangerous individuals or entities. Additionally, these stories bring to light the importance of driver support systems and resources. As seen in the tales of Rene, Mateo, Osvaldo, and Carlos, the psychological impact of these experiences can be profound. Providing drivers with access to counseling, support groups, and resources for trauma recovery can help them navigate the psychological aftermath of these horrors. Furthermore, the supernatural elements present in these stories raise questions about the existence of paranormal phenomena and their influence on the taxi industry. While some may dismiss these occurrences as mere fiction, others may believe there is a supernatural presence at play. It is crucial for the industry to acknowledge and address these beliefs, ensuring that drivers and passengers feel supported and protected in their encounters with the unknown. The horrifying experiences of the taxi drivers in Mexico also shed light on the importance of safety measures and precautions within the industry. These stories serve as a wake-up call for both drivers and passengers to prioritize their well-being and take necessary steps to ensure their safety during each ride. One crucial aspect that needs to be addressed is the implementation of advanced technology and security systems in taxis. Equipping vehicles with GPS tracking devices, panic buttons, and surveillance cameras can act as deterrents for potential criminals and provide a sense of security for both drivers and passengers. This technological advancement can also aid in investigations and identifying perpetrators in case of any untoward incidents. Furthermore, proper training and awareness programs should be conducted for taxi drivers to equip them with the skills and knowledge needed to handle challenging situations. This includes self-defense techniques, conflict resolution strategies, and guidelines for identifying suspicious behavior in passengers. By empowering drivers with these tools, they will be better prepared to handle any emergencies that may arise. Additionally, collaboration between taxi companies, law enforcement agencies, and local authorities is crucial to ensure a safe environment for taxi drivers. Regular communication channels and reporting mechanisms should be established to quickly address any safety concerns or incidents. This partnership can also facilitate information sharing, enabling authorities to identify patterns and apprehend individuals involved in criminal activities. Lastly, raising public awareness about the potential dangers taxi drivers face can encourage passengers to be more vigilant and respectful during their journeys. Promoting campaigns that emphasize the importance of mutual respect and good conduct can help create a safer and more harmonious atmosphere within the taxi industry. In addition to the safety measures and precautions, it is crucial for the taxi industry in Mexico to establish a system for drivers to communicate with each other about potential dangers or suspicious activities. Creating a network or platform where drivers can share real-time information and warnings can greatly enhance their safety. By alerting each other of any concerning passengers or incidents, drivers can navigate their routes more cautiously and avoid potentially dangerous situations. Furthermore, the taxi industry should consider implementing a standardized training program for drivers that includes cultural sensitivity and diversity training. This can help drivers better understand and respect passengers from different backgrounds, reducing the likelihood of discriminatory or disrespectful behavior. By fostering a more inclusive environment, both drivers and passengers will feel more comfortable and secure during their rides. Additionally, it is essential for the taxi industry to collaborate with local law enforcement agencies to establish emergency protocols and response plans. Training drivers on how to handle emergency situations, such as accidents, assaults, or robberies, can significantly improve their ability to protect themselves and their passengers. This collaboration can also facilitate quick and efficient response from authorities in times of crisis. Moreover, the taxi industry should prioritize the well-being of drivers by ensuring fair compensation and reasonable working hours. Fatigue and financial stress can impair drivers' judgment and increase the risk of accidents or dangerous encounters. Implementing regulations that promote fair wages, rest periods, and limits on daily driving hours can mitigate these risks and contribute to safer journeys for both drivers and passengers. Lastly, it is crucial for the taxi industry to actively engage with the public and seek their input and feedback. Conducting regular surveys or feedback sessions can provide valuable insights into areas that need improvement, such as customer service, vehicle cleanliness, or safety measures. By listening to the concerns and suggestions of passengers, the industry can continuously adapt and evolve to meet their expectations and ensure a positive experience for all. The four horror stories of taxi drivers in Mexico highlight the need for improved safety measures and regulations within the industry. One important aspect to consider is the implementation of a panic button system in taxis. This technology would allow drivers to quickly alert authorities in case of emergencies or suspicious situations. Additionally, creating a national database of registered taxi drivers would help ensure that only qualified and trustworthy individuals are allowed to operate as taxi drivers. Furthermore, it is essential for taxi companies to provide comprehensive insurance coverage for their drivers. This would not only protect the drivers in case of accidents or incidents, but also provide them with peace of mind knowing that they are financially protected. Another aspect to consider is the utilization of ride-sharing platforms with built-in safety features. These platforms could include features such as driver and passenger ratings, real-time GPS tracking, and emergency contact options. Implementing these features would not only enhance the safety of both drivers and passengers, but also create a sense of accountability within the industry. Moreover, training programs on defensive driving techniques and conflict resolution should be made mandatory for all taxi drivers. These programs would equip drivers with the necessary skills to handle challenging situations and ensure the safety of themselves and their passengers. Additionally, taxi companies should establish partnerships with local law enforcement agencies to conduct regular safety audits and inspections. This would help identify any potential security vulnerabilities and ensure compliance with safety regulations. Lastly, public awareness campaigns about the importance of respecting taxi drivers and treating them with kindness and courtesy should be promoted. This would create a more positive and harmonious environment within the industry and reduce the likelihood of confrontations or abusive behavior. The stories of horror experienced by taxi drivers in Mexico shed light on the need for improved communication and support systems within the industry. One important aspect to consider is the establishment of a dedicated hotline or helpline for taxi drivers to report any safety concerns or suspicious incidents. This would provide drivers with a direct line of communication to authorities who can quickly respond to emergencies or provide guidance in challenging situations. Additionally, taxi companies should prioritize driver training programs that focus on conflict escalation techniques and cultural sensitivity. By equipping drivers with the skills to handle diverse passengers and defuse potentially tense situations, the industry can promote a more inclusive and respectful environment for both drivers and passengers. Furthermore, the implementation of a rating and feedback system for passengers could greatly enhance safety within the taxi industry. This system would allow drivers to provide feedback on passenger behavior, helping to identify potential risks and warn other drivers. Similarly, passengers could also rate and provide feedback on their experience with the driver, creating a sense of accountability and encouraging respectful behavior from both parties. Moreover, the adoption of technologies such as panic buttons and emergency response apps in taxis can provide an added layer of security for drivers. These tools would enable drivers to quickly alert authorities or call for assistance in dangerous situations, ensuring their safety and the safety of their passengers. The horrifying experiences faced by the taxi drivers in Mexico serve as a stark reminder of the importance of community support and solidarity within the industry. In the aftermath of these terrifying encounters, it becomes evident that a network of support among drivers is crucial for their well-being and safety. One way to foster this sense of community is by establishing driver associations or unions that provide a platform for drivers to share their experiences, seek advice, and offer support to one another. These associations can also advocate for the rights and safety of taxi drivers, ensuring that their concerns are heard by relevant authorities and policymakers. Additionally, organizing regular meetings or workshops where experienced drivers can share their knowledge and mentor newer drivers can greatly contribute to the overall safety and professionalism within the industry. This mentorship program would not only help drivers navigate challenging situations, but also instill a sense of camaraderie and unity among them. Furthermore, creating platforms or online forums where drivers can connect and share information about potential dangers or suspicious activities can significantly enhance their safety. This real-time communication network would allow drivers to stay updated on the latest safety concerns and take necessary precautions to protect themselves and their passengers. Moreover, integrating technology solutions such as driver safety apps or panic button systems can provide an extra layer of protection for taxi drivers. These apps can allow drivers to quickly alert their fellow drivers or nearby authorities in case of emergencies, ensuring a swift response and assistance. Lastly, incorporating self-defense training programs specifically tailored for taxi drivers can empower them to protect themselves and their passengers in potentially dangerous situations. Equipping drivers with basic self-defense techniques and strategies can give them the confidence and skills needed to de-escalate conflicts and ensure their own safety. In addition to the need for improved communication and support systems within the taxi industry, it is crucial for authorities to conduct thorough investigations into the horrifying incidents experienced by the taxi drivers in Mexico. These investigations should not only focus on identifying the culprits responsible for the supernatural occurrences, but also on understanding the root causes behind these events. By delving deeper into the origins of these paranormal experiences, experts may be able to uncover hidden truths about the taxi industry and develop strategies to prevent future occurrences. Furthermore, the government should allocate resources to conduct research and study the patterns and trends of these horror stories. By collecting data on the locations, times, and types of incidents, authorities can create a comprehensive database to analyze the prevalence of supernatural encounters within the taxi industry. This information can then be used to develop targeted safety measures and regulations to protect both drivers and passengers. Moreover, it is crucial for the taxi industry to prioritize the mental health and well-being of its drivers. The psychological toll of encountering the unknown can be devastating, and drivers should have access to counseling and support services to help them cope with the trauma. Implementing programs that provide emotional support and resources for trauma recovery can contribute to the overall mental well-being and resilience of taxi drivers. Additionally, it is essential for the industry to collaborate with local communities and organizations to raise awareness about the potential dangers faced by taxi drivers. Conducting workshops or seminars to educate passengers on how to be respectful, considerate, and mindful of the driver's well-being can foster a safer and more respectful environment for everyone involved. Similarly, drivers can be trained on conflict resolution techniques to effectively manage difficult situations and ensure a positive experience for both themselves and their passengers. In order to address the safety concerns raised by the horror stories of taxi drivers in Mexico, the government and taxi industry must work together to strengthen the regulatory framework. One important step is to establish a comprehensive licensing system for taxi drivers that includes thorough background checks and training on safety protocols. By ensuring that only qualified and trustworthy individuals are allowed to operate as taxi drivers, the industry can significantly reduce the risks associated with unscrupulous or dangerous drivers. Additionally, the taxi industry should consider implementing a standardized emergency response system to handle critical situations. This system could include protocols for reporting suspicious activities, immediate dispatch of law enforcement, and coordination with local hospitals to provide timely medical assistance if needed. By having a structured and efficient emergency response in place, both drivers and passengers can have peace of mind knowing that help is readily available in times of crisis. Furthermore, it is crucial for the industry to invest in ongoing education and training programs for drivers. These programs should cover a wide range of topics, including defensive driving techniques, conflict resolution strategies, and cultural sensitivity training. By equipping drivers with the necessary skills and knowledge, they will be better prepared to handle challenging situations and ensure the safety and comfort of their passengers. In addition to driver-focused measures, it is essential for passengers to play an active role in promoting a safer taxi industry. Passengers should be encouraged to report any suspicious or dangerous behavior they encounter during their rides. Implementing a user-friendly reporting system that allows passengers to provide feedback and share their experiences can help identify potential risks and problematic individuals. This information can then be used to take appropriate action and ensure the safety of future passengers. Overall, addressing the safety concerns raised by the four horror stories of taxi drivers in Mexico requires a multifaceted approach that involves collaboration between the government, taxi industry, drivers, and passengers. Conclusion: once the four horror stories of taxi drivers in Mexico conclude, it becomes evident that supernatural occurrences and unexplained phenomena are a recurring theme. These tales serve as a reminder of the unknown forces that may lurk in the shadows of the taxi industry. The psychological toll on the drivers is profound, leaving them scarred and forever changed. To address these issues, stricter background checks, driver support systems, and safety measures are necessary. Advanced technology, driver training, and collaboration with law enforcement are crucial for ensuring the safety of both drivers and passengers. Public awareness campaigns and community support systems can also contribute to a safer and more harmonious taxi industry. Additionally, investigations, research, and mental health support are essential for understanding and addressing the root causes of these horror stories. Strengthening the regulatory framework, implementing emergency response systems, and promoting passenger involvement are key steps towards creating a safer taxi industry in Mexico.